What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business, where we cover everything in automotive logistics and transportation news. We got a cool show today. Actually, we're gonna do a show with he is a broker, and he's talking about don't start your own brokerage. Now, this is a tough place to be in that maybe let's say you're a car hauler, you just got in, you're like, wow, you know what, I wouldn't do this. How do I tell other people not to do this without, you're still in the business, but you want to warn others? This is a tough place to be. So this is going to be a great show. Let's go ahead and jump into the waiver. Oh, before we do that, I wonder what Sue's up to. Let's see if we get Sue in here. Sue, can you see me and hear me okay?
I can, Jay. How are you doing?
Oh, good.
Good.
Well, very good. Has it been a week, 2 weeks?
It's been 2.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So we're back. So thanks everybody for jumping in the live chat. We're back, and we're back. And we have another disclaimer. I'm so sorry about that. Please be aware that views and analysis provided on Dispatching Live relate to the auto transport industry as a whole and may not relate directly to ATI Auto Business, Auto Transport Intel, any affiliates, advertisers, or audience members. All viewers and participants of this content expressly waive any rights during this live program, whether in voice, chat, comment, video, or audio, and have been advised and encouraged not to say or express any opinions that may relate directly to ATI Auto Business, Auto Transport Intel, any affiliates, advertisers, audience members, or any other company or individual, and should not feel like they have the right to do so. And you know what I was thinking last night? I'm like, man, do I get rid of the waiver? And I started thinking, I think I still I kind of need it. But I feel like, you know what? I think things are softening again. We haven't had any truly crazy live chat comments. Now, don't get any ideas, but I think things have calmed down a little bit, and I think we can prove that. I just want to say, if you're feeling a bit queasy, it's okay. It's the Dispatching Live effect. That's what truth feels like. Okay. We are your auto transport media since 2017. Thank you so much. And we cover the full ecosystem: new, used, auctions, dealers, shippers, services, brokers. So don't feel like you're... Sorry, Doug. Yeah, that does. You know what? All kinds. Not just the traditional kind, but every kind sucks. So how about that? Because there are many different forms, although the traditional one is definitely the worst. So thanks for tuning in, Doug. I'm glad we can be here for you. A little bit of levity in the day. Levity in education. That's what we do. And we're the neutral zone. We really are. I don't care what your overly favorable coverage looks like. We want to be friends, but we have news to share. Fight. But I want to say, and I love when I get we get some really good comments. We get some terrible comments too, and we share them all. But I just want to say that this video that I made where I was walking down the street talking on the phone about a broker that played a trick, I love it. It's one of my favorite videos for people to comment on and feel a kinship to. Because when you get lied to over the phone or your email, when your phone gets lied to or your email gets lied to, but for somehow it's not face-to-face or voice-to-voice, it's especially irritating, especially when your business is on the line, right? No?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I had it on mute, and I didn't realize I was talking, and you couldn't hear me.
When's the last time that happened to you? When's the last time your voicemail or email got lied to?
Okay, well, should we say every day?
Is it every day?
I get crap all day long. That is not true and stuff, so yeah. I mean, I was talking to somebody, and I had 900 emails when I walked in the other day, and I was like, Jesus. 900 emails. Well, you know what it is because I have all these different companies I dispatch for. So I get an email for every single company. So like if they send me a load list, I get a load list for every single company I dispatch for. And that includes all my outside.
Oh yeah.
Too,
all the email stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that's just fantastic.
I don't.
I know. I encourage everybody to check out past shows. I love some of the content. Man, I'll tell you what, just yesterday I was listening to parts of this show again. That was an awesome show. Renee did an amazing
Yes,
job
she did.
covering different, and then we had great conversations. So great. I know that's, tracking car haulers with Skip Kavanaugh. That was a week ago from Tuesday. That was really interesting. Pretty controversial stuff in that show. And because, what car hauler wants to be tracked? Oh, me, no. Nobody says that. And just want to mention, Tuesday night we had OEM Car Haulers Part 2. If you want to learn more about what OEM car haulers are thinking about, talking about, great stuff. So I just wanted to point that out. So let's go to Show Me the Truck. Now we have some truck show stuff. You sent this in.
Yes, I did.
So what are we looking at here? This is good looking.
This was the load of the week, is what I think that I was sending
Wow.
to you for.
Look at that thing.
That's Danny.
How much space you got between those
2500s.
trucks?
Not
Couple
much.
inches?
It's squeaky.
Right,
It's pretty squeaky. We took those down to Midland, I believe, is where we took them from, out of Oklahoma City.
Send us your trucks, your loads, whatever you got. Send it into autotransportintel@gmail.com. You can send in the news, and depends on what kind of news it is. We'll share it on a Tuesday or a Thursday. And I think we got a second shot here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Now you can really see that you could fit a slice of cheese right there in between those bumpers. Maybe a slice of cheese.
Yeah, Danny was really surprised we got them on, but yeah, it was pretty squeaky.
And are those technically? Is that an extended cab? Is that
That one's bigger than the other. Yeah, like the two on the very end. One looks like it's a long bed, well, I don't know. The two on the very end look bigger. The one in the middle is the only reason why we were able to make it fit.
Yeah.
So one was a Dodge, and I think the other two, we have a combination that we can fit now. So this was kind of our practice to see if this
Yeah.
would all fit,
Wow.
and it did. So now we know.
Wow. Wow. Nice. That's awesome. Love it. All right. So you sent this in also. Okay. All Red Enterprises LLC wants to sell the company. 2-year authority, good standing. Got a 2021 4500 Ram with a 95-gallon auxiliary tank. 34K Hitchcrafter fifth wheel, airlifter 5,000 airbags with controller. Truck is 18,700 and miles. Asking for 46 grand on the truck. The trailer's a 2020 50-foot Kaufman 3-car wedge with 10-foot aluminum ramps. Asking 8 grand for the trailer. Let's take a look at some pictures. Oh yeah, that's pretty nice. Looks pretty beefy. And yet, right, compact. Good condition.
Yeah, nice looking truck.
Yeah, that is a nice looking truck. Here's from the other side. Oh, so is it currently in Alabama then, I guess?
Yeah, that's where he's from.
Mm-hmm.
Grand
Okay.
Bay, Alabama. So kind of by Mobile area, if that helps anybody.
All Red Enterprises.
Yep. And he wants to sell the whole thing, like his MC authority, the whole works. So if somebody's interested, get a hold of him. It'd be a good deal.
Do you want to put his info? Do you have his info handy? Like
yeah.
I don't know, or just
I didn't
contact
realize-
you, however you want to do it.
No, we can have him call. Let me find it here. Hold on.
If it's
I
an
can give the
email
phone
address, I have to share it.
It
But-
is a phone number. You ready?
Okay, yeah, ready. Go ahead.
It's his name is Steven. It's 601-303-5799. And also Constantine is going to be sending you something too. He's got his
Oh, cool.
Infinity for sale, and he's just completely redone it, and it's a sweet deal. If anybody wants a good ass trailer, it's going to be that one. I'm telling him to send you the pictures right now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I told him we wanted to show
hey,
it on the show.
And this applies to anybody. I mean, live or on demand. You want to share company info, got something for sale, send it into autotransportintel@gmail.com. And we'll
Just not
share
hay
it.
bales.
Oh, we don't want a hay bale. I thought you wanted some concrete slabs coming up in the news.
That or my pinball machine.
Oh, you love pinball machines. I thought it was ice machines. I thought you were more of an
No,
ice
it was a
machine
pinball
gal.
machine.
Oh,
No.
pinball machines.
Remember, it was a pinball machine, and then remember the guy that sent me the Corvette end of it with the TV in it?
Oh yeah.
That was a legit load. But I couldn't move it. I was just like, not gonna happen. Send it freight.
All right, let's do some memos. All right. Oh, by the way, before we go into the memos, let's go into the live chat. I think I missed. I just want to say hello. Sue is in here, of course, and Douglas is here. Super Dispatch is here. John Larrick is here. What's up, John? John was on the show Tuesday night with OEM Car Haulers. Elena is here. What's up, Elena? Thanks for saying hello. And Danior Yafarkulov. Hey, I'm glad to join this amazing lesson. God bless you. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And God bless you, too. Really do appreciate it. I mean, and we need all the help we can get. That's why we're here. You know, I know sometimes people can't tell if I'm joking or not or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I really do. We appreciate the community. We're trying to share important information. And this is an important show talking about, you know, don't start a freight brokerage. And if you do, watch this first. That's kind of this show. And it's going to be interesting. We have a guest and everything. You just sent this in. What is going on here? Attention carriers.
I apparently, yes, if you're wanting loads, I just got that at like 10:30. Apparently they're not able to send them over to Central, so look on their load boards if you're looking for something.
What do you think
don't just go to Central.
Do you think it's just a glitch or something?
Probably just a glitch.
Just a glitch. Uh-huh. All right.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for an ACERTUS load, you got to go to their website because you may not see it on Central. So public service announcement, right? And there's, I'm not adding anything to that. I'm literally just letting you know. And here's the thing is, what did you do? You got the email?
Yeah, I just got the email about 10:30 and I sent it over to you as soon as I got it so we could kind of tell everybody what was going on in case they were looking for loads and didn't see that the fact that the ACERTUS is not listing anything new, I guess, so they could go to the website. Okay, so Steadfast is going to send that to me and then I'm going to send it to you.
Awesome. And let me know, because I just checked my email. I don't see anything. I'll keep on going. Let me know. We don't want to miss it.
Yep.
All right.
As soon as I get it, I'll forward it.
And hey, how's the audio? The audio's, is it good? Is it okay? Mike check.
Sounds fine to me.
I want to be a car hauling dispatcher. What do I have to do? Really, would you teach me? How can I contact you? Okay. Well, I'm detecting a sincere communication here. Really does want to be a dispatcher. What do you have to do? So I'm gonna give a sincere reply. What I tell people to do is what you want to do. No, well, I'm gonna go first, and then I'm gonna let them have it. Okay. So,
well, no, I mean, they can work underneath me. That's what I mean. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, we're working. No, well, yeah, but first, I want to share my handy dandy car hauling dispatcher training series, which it's free on YouTube. And I like it. You know, beginner. So here's one of 3. You click on the beginner. Oh, let me give that a like. Go ahead and feel free to give me a like, copy, share, grab that YouTube link. So here comes Dispatcher Training Series, which is ironic because we're talking about Freight Broker Training Series. The difference is for Freight Broker Training Series, oftentimes you're going to pay several grand, and mine is free. So you can tell it's really high quality. Okay, so Dispatcher Training Series actually is pretty good. Go ahead and check that out. There's 3 parts. Okay, now that I shared that, Sue, what else does Donnie Orr need to know about dispatching?
Well, I do hire people that work outside of my office as an outside dispatcher. So that also includes the training and everything else, but you work underneath me under my authority, etc. So I kind of have it set up almost like a franchise, shall we say. So you're your own business, but you work underneath me. I train you. I'm there with you, whatever you need kind of thing until you don't need me anymore. But usually everybody always needs me. So I'm always helping everybody and I have no problem with that. Anytime you need anything, call me, text me. And we do UMA is what we do, which is a form of Zoom. And so we do that pretty much every single day so that I can train you, answer questions if you have a question, that kind of thing. So that's, kind of all of it wrapped up for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna add to that, and that
Okay.
is that what you just said made it sound so easy that anybody could go do it. And that's because
Well, it's not
yeah,
that
well, that's
easy.
right. No, what I mean is, and I'm trying to help. I'm trying to say is that you didn't add all the junky stuff you deal with in between, and that is
Right.
that starting with how do you find a carrier to
Hmm.
book loads for? It's
So
actually
I
very
find your
hard.
carriers.
That's
Right.
right. This is
Yeah.
why working with Sue is helpful.
Yeah.
Also, you wouldn't believe how many times you go to book a load and you didn't realize that that was going to be a problem too.
Right.
And working
Right.
with Sue and doing the training and the meetings. So what Sue is offering is, it's I think it's good in that on the job training as a dispatcher, not having to grovel for a carrier, not
Mhm.
having to text and spam to find somebody to haul for, not knowing if they're just going to take your information and run off. These are the things that, well, there's really a lot to it.
Yeah.
Was that fair?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I mean, it's not easy for
Oh my
sure.
gosh, it's crazy.
I mean, I'm
I used to
pulling
be a
my hair out
dispatcher.
at the
I
end of the day
started
some
this
days.
channel because I was a losing my mind dispatcher.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
Yeah. It happens.
And now I'm here to share information and, we're going to talk about stuff. For example, here's something. Hey, did you get the memo on this? New expired ETA feature. You sent this in.
Yeah, I
Uh,
sent this in.
yeah, what are we
And
doing
they're
here?
doing that, just so you know. If you
Okay.
do not mark this stuff, they're pulling it off of you. It happened to one of Janice's carriers the other day. And now, don't get me wrong, we got it back. But if I hadn't caught that they had canceled it, she'd been out of load. So, and they're also doing something funky. You need to watch what they're doing. They've been switching dates on there, and it's really weird. It's not like the date is less than what you put on there. It's like a week later. And I don't know if that's the reason why they're doing it. Like we booked a load and we put on there, we were picking up one day, delivering the next day. We went back in the next day to mark it picked up or whatever. And it had changed from the 5th to the 9th as delivery. And we didn't do that. So watch that stuff too. I don't know why it's happening that way.
Hey, Donnie Orr, I'm putting, just side note, I'm putting Sue's information in here. What you want to do is, stay
Email.
tuned to ATI. Go to ATI Auto Business on YouTube, subscribe, and watch every Thursday. And then if you're looking to join Sue's dispatching program, her information is in the live chat. But I don't dispatch anymore. I'm a full time media guy, which is really what I was intended for, and that's why I do this. I also want to point out, hey, attention waiver, because we just talked about this, and this is important stuff, but we're speaking from our experience and what we see and hear. So, note, load board, are people confused about what's going on? Because I'm going to guess that this technology company is not trying to confuse people, but you're saying somehow it is. Is that right?
Yes.
With switching dates? What kind of
Switching it.
dates?
Like I said, it went like, and it's the delivery date. It's not your, pickup
Oh
date.
no, they're
It's
switch.
the delivery
Oh,
day. And I don't know why they're doing it unless it's
wow.
because of
Well,
this
because
and
the
they're afraid
client.
it's going to be reassigned or
Well,
something.
because
I
the
don't know.
client, right? Okay.
Because it's not legit. It's just they've given us
Wow.
more time to deliver. It's like
Oh, oh,
it's
that's
not
good.
like it's backing it up. It's they're
Oh,
literally going like we're marking that we're going to say that we're delivering 9-5. We go back in there after we've to mark it picked up and it's changed to 9-9. And
now
it's happened
here's
on several loads and I don't know why.
okay. And you know what's interesting about that? You'd think that being early is awesome, but guess what?
Sometimes it's not. Yeah.
It's not all the time awesome. So if you thought you were delivering on 9-5, it's been changed to 9-9, and you show up on 9-6, guess what?
They may
Some
have a
clients will
problem.
say, "What are you doing here?" So it does matter
Yeah.
what day you said in both directions, which is really interesting. It's totally weird for a carrier to pull into a lot, start unstrapping, and the client's like, "Whoa, I'm not ready for this." And it happens. That's pretty weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure unless it's because it
Oh, I've
started
heard.
happening when
Yeah.
this started happening. So
Hmm.
that's the only thing I can come up with. But nobody's having a problem with this delivering early, just so everybody knows. It's not like that. I don't know if it's because of this thing and they're afraid that we're going to get kicked out of the system, like they're saying, and that's the reason why. I don't know. Haven't figured
Well,
it out yet.
we're gonna, and it's interesting. Here, look at this. They do mention in compliant with their client's SLA for delivery. Right.
Yeah.
It's because right. I just want to say this is that, and we will move on. Don't worry, we're not going to sit here all day and look at this. But I continue to maintain that the description notes of the dates that are completely off of the date we're looking at it needs to get fixed. And if those dates, maybe they're on their way to progress, but I want to know when it's fixed, because I don't think it's fixed. But apparently people are looking at it. Speaking of, I want to say this is I really appreciate Eric reaching out and providing us with positive feedback again. And this is why I said I think we're back to where we were about 9 months ago, maybe a year ago, in trying to work together rather than feeling like,
Okay, I have something to say about that. That's not what they sent to us.
Well,
and I tried to give
Yeah.
a rating on this, saying another company for that we dismissed and will not let me do it.
Okay, so all right, I'm glad you said that, because but we're working. And so when Eric, when you see this, I want you to know
Check it
that
out.
I really do believe there's common ground that we can find. I think we've found some, and let's continue to find more. However, I think Sue has just said that she didn't see this on her screen. Is that right?
Well, no, if you do it right then, unless this is changed, once you dismiss it, it asks you right then and there, are you sure you want to dismiss it? Blah, blah, blah. But after it's done, it was done. And when we questioned them and sent them an email, they sent us back an email that said, once it's dismissed, you can never rate them again.
Okay.
So we tried to rate one the other day to see if that was really the case, and we could not rate them on another transaction.
Okay.
So
well,
we'll try it. I'll try it again later and see.
Well, my intuition tells me there'll be more follow up, and maybe there's an opportunity here for another feedback meeting.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we
I'm
really should.
totally with it.
Camera one. We should really get back to where we were. Not with everything in life, but some things. And it seems like a year ago we had a pretty good line of communication open, and I feel like we're headed in the right direction again. So let's keep doing that. Let's keep talking. Okay, now for our favorite part of the show. Grab a mask and jump right in, because you can do whatever you want. That's not right. Jay, you can't. All right. So, now, this might be misplaced, but I got an email, and looking for a quote, I sent them over to you. I'm going to say you never heard from a Toyota Sienna, Atlanta, Georgia guy.
Actually, I moved that vehicle.
Get out of town. You did?
I did. I was wondering where you promised.
Oh my God. I can't believe it. Wow.
Yes, I did. I moved that, I think on Monday or Tuesday, actually.
So, what's interesting, what caught my attention was it's just a Moultrie to Atlanta.
Mhm.
How far is
Yeah.
that?
It's not very far, but Moultrie is just off the beaten path. That's the problem. It's going to take somebody coming from Florida basically to pick that up, because you're
Wow.
not just in Moultrie. You
Oh.
know what I mean?
Southern Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. It's a run and drive, and everything was okay? Was
Yeah,
it residence?
I think we charged them $350. I think that's what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and
Boy,
they
that's
picked it up
really good.
and delivered the same day, because like I said, it's not very far. It's not on the beaten path. So when stuff's like in BFE, we got to charge appropriately to get it moved. But it moved
Oh,
right
yeah.
away.
Well, I mean, this is auto transport.
And he was a really nice guy. He sent me
Wow.
an email afterwards, and because I had sent him an email asking him if everything went okay, and he said, "Thank you, it was perfect. I'll call you again for the next one I need moved."
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. Good job, Sue.
Yeah. Good job, Jay.
Hey, it was teamwork. See,
Yep.
if you email autotransportintel@gmail.com, I will try to dispatch it. Huh? I'm an information dispatcher. Okay.
There's my concrete
Yeah,
pallets.
cut that. Hey, so are you doing the pallets next?
Yeah, right on that one, buddy.
No, cut it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's too much.
Yeah.
Snowbirds.
One because okay, so I was talking to one of my customers who's in Florida and she wanted something out of Jersey. I think it was a Hummer H2, and I'm like, it's snowbird season, right? And she sent me that. I said, that is the most perfect thing ever.
It
And
really
if
is.
anybody doesn't know what snowbird season is, it is when the I don't want to say this the wrong way,
Yeah.
older people move
Oh, that's.
from Jersey,
Try again.
Massachusetts. Well, if
No.
I said elderly, it would have been worse. So
Can you say mature? What is
there we go.
what is the
Well,
DEI word for older?
I don't know. But older people was better. Okay, well, anyways, so they all move for the winter time. They move from Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, and Minnesota because I have family members who are older people in Minnesota, and they all move to Florida for the winter, and then they move back for the summer back to their homes. So that's what we call it, snowbird season.
Do snowbirds normally? Do they have two homes?
Yes,
They have two homes,
they usually do. Yep.
and Douglas has saged, which is good because it includes aged, so that's really good. Um, so you okay? Yeah. So you've got folks. So you're talking maybe older and wealthier, somewhat, which makes it a
Yeah.
lucrative deal, somewhat.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but think about it.
Yeah.
When you're pricing it, and so they move south. When do they go south? Late September.
Right now, yeah,
Right now,
we're moving
early
right now
October.
is usually an end of September, first from usually through October. And honestly, sometimes it depends on the weather for them too. If it's nicer up there, they'll stay longer.
Which
And
right
same
now
thing
it
if
is
they're
warmer, actually.
dry. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not cooled down like it has.
Right.
And the same thing during the summer, if it's not horribly hot in Florida, they'll stay a little bit longer too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a regular thing that they do every single year. And
Every
unfortunately,
year.
from like over the last 20 years, though, the price of what we used to get to do snowbird season has gone down probably almost what, 30-40%. I would say. I mean,
Wow.
used to be we would get anywhere between $1,400 to $1,500 a car to go to Florida. They're down to $700, $800, $900 is what they're on their
Wow.
car
How
now.
is that?
If you can get away with it and everybody follows the lead, that's what happens. One
Well,
person listed on
no,
there, oh, that's getting moved, so let's market for that too. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and but then does it actually? Then they
Yeah, they
call
have
back
been.
late. Yeah, they. Oh God. And then
I mean,
and if that's your money leg, then when they
uh-huh.
go north, they
Yeah, you're
they
screwed.
just
Yeah.
kill you.
Yeah, because Florida sucks unless it is snowbird season or unfortunately if they have a hurricane. But
Oh,
anyways, I mean those are
John
the
Larrick says
times.
it starts. So maybe it starts mid September. Hey, John, how long does it go for? How long do you think it goes for? To the end of October?
Sometimes into November.
Whoa.
I've moved them into November too. Oh,
Um,
okay.
interesting. Okay.
He's gonna send me that here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forward it to you.
And I guess then maybe somebody would want to know, well, how do you get a snowbird contract? Because if you get it through a brokerage, right, then they're going to take their cut. Is
Right.
there any way to get a snowbird deal directly with the snowbird?
Well, I think a
Snowbird
lot of
direct?
them that I think a lot of them already have their transporter set up, have been
Yeah.
set up with them for years, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
The ones that are hangovers are going to be the ones you see on Central Dispatch, and those are the ones that you're not going to get any money off of. And the rule is you cannot solicit these people. Okay, but there is nothing to be said that you can't just hand them your business card when you drop it off and say, here you go, and see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not soliciting it
Solicitation.
that way. You're not
Uh,
saying, hey, call me the next time. You're just saying, if you need anything, here's my phone number. If there's a problem, here's my phone number, that kind of thing. And I just sent you Constantine's Infinity Low Pro
oh, you did?
picture and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
cool.
let me know
Let's
if you
check
get
this
it.
out. Okay, so this is good. We got plenty of that. We know what an ostrich on skis looks like now. By the way, I have no idea how they got that shot. I mean, that was a real.
It's
That
a
was a
GIF.
real.
I think it's a GIF.
Well, I know, but that's a real bird, right?
Oh, how did they
How
make
did they
it?
get
Oh, well,
it?
they made that.
Ah, okay.
That's a made up one. I
Um.
don't know, anyways.
Oh man.
Jesus.
Golly!
Sorry, I
Don't
just
open
blew
that
that out of the
email.
water
Oh
for you,
yeah.
Jay. You're hoping you're seeing an
Don't
ostrich.
click
really
on
see
that
it.
banking text. So this is okay. So this is Constantine's Infinity trailer for sale.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Did he put any of the info on there?
I don't see it. but I'm
Okay, hold
sharing
on. He
pics.
did
Yeah.
one that he put on Facebook here.
Yeah, so
Let me,
yeah,
I'll
he's
read
got it
it
all fixed up.
too.
Oh, and there it is in operation. And that is a nice, the Infinity 5, that is a
That
nice one.
is like, yeah, one
Yeah,
of the
because you can
best
do
trailers
so
out there,
much.
man. Yes, you can. There,
Yeah.
I mean, I had a couple drivers that had those. Absolutely loved them. You can put pretty much anything on them.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, we used to take three big, huge trucks or four smaller trucks and stuff like that. Remember, he got out of the business. He went to work for Walmart, but it was called Heaven Bound. And I used to show you that he was the one that was making so much money during COVID. I mean, we were, what was the most he ever made? Like $12,000 in a week
Oh,
with that
man.
trailer.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Look
that's
at
not there
that.
now,
That's a serious
but
load.
yeah, that's a serious load.
It is. Man.
Those are huge.
Golly. That is.
So it's a 2017 GNW 550. He has freshly sanded it down and painted it. It's got 15K dual axles. He's got alcohol rims, wheel polish up to mirror finish if I get a chance. New brakes, winch, factory weak points reinforced. A 1/4 inch rock slider, curb slider on the lower rails welded on. Great for employee drivers that don't give a flip when driving. Good one.
Look at the ice caked on it. It's all weather.
Yep. And Constantine is from
Colorado?
Denver. Yeah, Denver
Denver.
area.
Huh?
We move a lot of the Denver um, football team members
Oh,
for him.
nice. Yeah, and that's a good picture because we're seeing all kinds of different loads. We saw
Yes.
the 5
Gives you
sedans,
the
sedan
idea of
SUV
what it can
mix,
do.
the
Yeah.
trucks. We saw the heavy. Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah. He's got a sweet trailer.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Hey, I'm selling my 2017 Infiniti GNW 550, freshly sanded down and painted. Yeah, as you described it. 34K Hitchcrafter Easy Floater, fifth wheel. Oh, and okay, so
He's
it
giving
comes.
away
Oh, and it comes with the trailer.
the easy floater hitch. Yeah.
Wow.
And really, 39,999. That's a good deal. I couldn't even tell you what they are brand new anymore. When Heaven Bound bought his,
Yeah,
it
that
was
is
like
good.
$56,000, and it did not have all of that stuff on there. And that was probably 4 or 5 years ago, at least 5 years ago. So we know what they've gone to now. Everything's almost double.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Wow. Thanks so much for sharing that. That's great.
And he's
That's what
got
this
it
is
on
all about.
Facebook as well. So if anybody's interested, shoot me an email and I'll give you to him.
So you send that email if you want to learn more about that trailer. Murphy Auto Transport Services. Oh, call or email Sue. Again, here's that information.
Oh, and I have a story about Copart.
Oh, good,
Which
because we have
did
a wrecked
you know?
we have a
I'm just
wrecked
looking into it.
2024 Ford Mustang GT already on sale at
They are
Copart.
starting something new where they're selling newer vehicles that are not wrecked. You do not need to make an appointment. They're in a
Wow.
totally different section. I don't know if there's certain Coparts that are doing it, but where was that one at, Janice? That Copart that you didn't need to make an appointment? Florida. Yeah. They in Orlando, it's a whole new thing. They're starting something different, people. So yeah, they set it up almost like Mannheim. Interesting, isn't that?
That is interesting. Well, what I was going to say, by the way, Roberto is up next, so stick around. We'll be with Roberto here in a few minutes. I was just saying, I just saw the other day, I think it was Tuesday, reported that a Tesla ex-employee, allegedly,
Uh-huh.
has created a wholesale marketplace for used Teslas. My point is this, is that it's going to keep on going. We're going to continue to just see more and more new ways of buying and selling used and new vehicles through companies and entities we didn't see yesterday. Like I heard a radio ad for Auto Trader while I was driving. And I thought, "Yep, if I worked at Auto Trader, I'd be like, we probably need to increase the marketing budget because competition is going up. There are more and more ways to sell your car, buy a car, look at cars. It's wild. Which this is an opportunity if you're in auto transport and you're following the news of all these different ways. Just as we talked, you can't solicit an old contract, but you can sure as heck seek job and work relationships with new entities that aren't established. Man, call Copart. Call Copart. Hey, can I haul your cars? I wonder what they'd say. I don't know, actually. Does Copart have an in-house auto transport division? I've heard they do. I've heard they don't. I don't know. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk brokering. You ready to talk some brokering?
Yep. Let's do it.
Oh, this is how easy it is to be a broker. Actually, this is a workflow diagram. First, you get the quote, then you get the order, enrichment, cascade, open market, plain, dispatch, track and track, delivery. Anyways, go ahead and take a photo of that, and you're off to the races. No problem. There are a lot of people searching for freight broker license, how to become a broker, how to become a freight broker school, and what is a freight broker. If you're looking getting into freight brokering and you're going to pay for some freight broker training, just look around. So are many, many other people too. By the way, there's already thousands of brokers. So is it a great idea? I don't know. If the water park is full of people in inner tubes, should you go to the water park?
Well,
I'm just asking. I don't, I'm not going. Isn't that the most ridiculous picture ever?
that's pretty crazy.
Is that real? It's like the Snowbird. Okay, here we go. Camera one. Let's do this. Do me a favor, stick around, because right after this, we're going to be live with Roberto. We're going to be talking about don't start a freight brokerage. And if you do, watch this first. Stick around because we'll be right back.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verifications of loads where nobody ever answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021, or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Murphy Auto Transport Services, that's the voice of Sue. She's my co-host here on Thursdays on Dispatching Live. She's a fully licensed broker, and she wants to help you stay loaded and move cars. Her contact information is in the live chat, so please do let her know. Or send an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. If you're looking for a quote, I'll send you over to Sue, and she'll take care of you. Talk to you about, what that's going to look like. All right, here we go. Let's do this. It is now time. We're doing a show about starting a freight brokerage and the thought process of all of that. Roberto, can you see me and hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
I can.
I'll start with that.
Hey,
Yeah,
Roberto.
all right.
Hey, Sue.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, Roberto, you contacted me, and you've got a bit of a background. Why don't you kick things off? Introduce yourself. Tell us a bit more about what you think we're doing here today.
First of all, it's pretty exciting to be in the podcast. I was watching it when I first got started learning about auto transport. So, my name is Robert. I started Assure Freight, my own brokerage. My background was I worked for a few years for a shipper, and then from there I went to work for a brokerage, and then events happened where it kind of led me to start it, or at least attempt it. And the reason why is because, well, I'm trying to minimize my regrets, and this is what I got show for so far. So just want to share that with y'all. So that's pretty much it.
What you don't know, what the audience doesn't know, is that you've done a lot of research and you've already shipped cars. I mean, you've got both feet in brokering right now. Am I right?
Yeah, I move loads.
Yeah.
That's I move loads. I remember, I don't know, and when I first started learning, I don't know anything about auto transport. It was
Okay, and when was
nothing.
that? Can you give us that? When was that?
March 2023.
Exactly. You are a fast learner. We've had a couple conversations, and I will tell. I'll go to camera one. One of the things that Robert showed me is that, I mean, he works really hard when he decides to do something. He works really hard, and I thought this is a good opportunity to put together a show that doesn't sound like very long ago. I know this. I said this. Within 1 year of when I started dispatching, I was training dispatchers. You don't need 10,000 years to understand what this business is about. It doesn't take that long. If you're working hard all day, it doesn't take that long. I think within a month or two of dispatching, I was already producing better numbers than, I don't know, some of the trucks that I was working with. Sue, what would you add to that? I mean, I think probably the people in the live chat can agree with this.
Yeah, I mean, it does take some time. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm still, we still struggle. I mean, I know a lot, but it's still a struggle when there's no loads on the board. And as a broker, I'm not your typical broker either, so I can't even compare to what he's doing. And he's out there in the weeds trying to pull people in, customers that I've had for years, and that's pretty much how I started the brokerage part of it. And I know how hard it is to get new customers and, set them up and price them the right way so that you can keep them. And when you have so much competition out there, they're giving stupid quotes to move something. It's very hard to keep those customers. And we all know that those quotes that they give these people that are so cheap are never going to happen. They're going to call them later on and say, hey, we can't move this, so now we need X amount more money. That always happens. And I still get it. I get people calling me every day and I'll give them a quote. And you know how I quote. I usually quote $1 a mile at least. And I do not take the broker fees that most people take because that's not my main form of income, shall we say. But I know as a broker how much you're going to have just to keep your head afloat, let alone your bills. So I get that part of it. But when someone undercuts you, like I'll give them a quote and they'll undercut me and they'll say, well, we found somebody, I'll tell them 1,000. Well, we found somebody for 600. I'm like, well, that's because you're going to get the call eventually and they're going to say it's not going to move. And you just got to do whatever you feel comfortable with. And cheap does not mean good freight coverage, whatever you want to call it. Does not mean you're going to get a good transporter. And I mean, I still get bad transporters. We had one the other day that was supposed to drop on Sunday, didn't drop till Wednesday, and I'm chewing their asses left and right. And they're like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, it is a big deal. When the customer bought a brand new car and they're excited, they want that car, and you show up 3 days later, it's a huge deal. And you're going to get rated appropriately on Central Dispatch,
So good. That's good. So with more background there, hey Robert, do me a favor. You put together a little bit of a presentation. Let's fire that up if we can, because
Yep.
this presentation is for if you're thinking of starting. I know there's somebody right now getting ready to drop. How much is it? 2-3 grand for freight broker training?
Oh yeah, I think that's what they were
Well,
listing them on there.
yeah, we're not even counting the bond and the
Right.
LLC and
Yeah.
not even the website,
See,
especially if you're
yeah.
gonna go auto brokering,
Yep.
SEO.
Yep.
Um,
It's
so
expensive.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sue knows she's a veteran. I'm just, hitting myself on the concrete a
Well,
lot.
but also
Well,
you're taking the step out onto the plank to
Right.
talk. I mean, I realize, like, listen, making this channel, there's shows that we do that I know some people don't want us to do that show.
Mm-hmm.
I know they don't. Actually, I've been told about it. So, but the thing is, but this is news. This is information. This is important. If you're thinking of starting a freight brokerage, think, okay, pay attention to what Robert wants to tell you.
Well, to be fair, this presentation is not for the veterans. I mean, that's obvious.
That's right. This is for
Right,
news.
this is for newbies.
just to-
yeah.
Newbies.
Yeah, just for people to, just to clarify. Also too, with any venture, I would say you need to plan and consider everything. So let's get started. So, of course, we went a little bit of my background. I basically started it, no prior knowledge. I just listened to the podcast as much as I can. We shipped our first car in April, and then now we ship about total 30 vehicles. We're getting more right now as well, and all my leads are cold calls. All of them.
Yep.
All of them.
It's
And
rough.
I'm just getting some. Well, you have to. It doesn't make sense because your margins are going to be eaten. This is going to your margins
Yeah.
going to be eating from the marketing alone.
Yep.
So, do you have any questions, Sue or Jay, on
No.
that?
No, well, so, and just to clarify, you don't buy leads. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no.
And isn't
I look
buying-
into it.
Yeah.
It's
I
too much.
I did a lot of research. And basically, I went. First of all, I'm not bashing any lead providers, but whenever you get a vendor, like a transporter or anything like that, and you're trying to establish a relationship, especially getting leads, right? The last question I always ask, like, is there anything else I need to know about you or your business? And my personal red flag is, well, we're the most honest and trustworthy lead provider. And that was about maybe 4 out of 8 providers I called personally. 4 said that, and my gut said, maybe I should just cold call at that point. So, when somebody
Okay.
says you're honest and transparent,
Right,
that's a
exactly.
big red flag.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I
Maybe
help
I'm
you?
old school.
Hey, I'm really honest.
Yeah.
I want to get an egg McMuffin. I just want to mention this. I know that's Jay. That's totally out of line. I want to say this is that isn't buying leads part of many freight broker course recommendations?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is, but
Right.
what they don't account for is the cost. They just say you can make 100 grand, but most people can't even afford like a $400 emergency in the United States. So, like I saying, this presentation is for people that need to carefully consider starting any business. It's just brokering. So, back to what I was saying, a freight broker is an agency business, and what people don't know about agency businesses is that it's very volatile. It's obviously low cost, low barrier, but like I said, people don't. What you're exchanging for that benefit is your time and your commitment, and people fail to realize that. As soon as as soon as you put your foot off the gas, somebody's going to undercut you, like we talked about earlier. So let's go to point 1. So, like I said, competition and low barrier to entry. So I think Mark Cuban said, if a secret that all successful people know is if somebody says they can make you rich, they're lying to you. So, transportation is one of the few industries that you can offer the same pricing and service as the big dogs like Snyder, Ready Logistics, Automotive. Um, it's a good thing for you to start off, but one of the things that people fail to consider is that you just, like, how would I explain it? But there's no exit. It's hard to sell an agency business. If you're going to start anything in general, what's the point of starting and somebody's going to undercut you? A freight brokerage or
I want-
agency business? Go
I'm
ahead.
going to add this. Check this out. This is crazy. True statistic. I talked to a guy yesterday, just coincidentally. In North America, in all trucking, so this is freight, auto transport, everything, there's over 24,000 broker MCs registered. That means in transportation, there's over 24,000 brokers. There's over 375,000 carrier MCs registered. Those are huge numbers. Getting back to brokers, there are literally thousands of competitors waiting to eat your lunch as you enter the start freight brokering landscape.
And you also had a podcast with the GPS tracking guy, and as of September 1st, there were 1,600 new brokerage in this month alone.
Wow.
This month. So, just the next few slides are gonna just reinforce that. So on the next one, this is a Google search terms for freight brokering. So we have you obviously see the trend line, United States, Guatemala. This is worldwide, and also have it right here. You can see it, right?
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
Search term
this
for
is
freight broker.
yeah,
Okay.
this is on YouTube. This is on YouTube. So this is what people are actively searching. As you can see here, I guess this was probably the top of the, when everybody's making money, of COVID.
Yeah,
So
COVID.
you can,
Exactly.
yeah. So you see the countries, you got your Guatemala's entering Pakistan. Ironically, Ukraine is one of the lowest ones, even though they're the king of double brokers, which is kind of
It's saturated.
interesting. Yeah. So yeah, there's obviously you know, your,
How
all
it-
these terms that
how
people
is-
search for.
How is becoming a freight broker so darn popular? I always ask this question.
It's not that it's popular. I just think it's the way how they sell it. It's the marketing. It's very like you book a truck, you're making money. It's more than that. It's almost I think it's more dangerous in a business transaction because you're like stuck in the middle. Your customer's not paying, transporter, you're like in the worst position in a business transaction. At least a carrier has a right for payment. That's the whole reason why they have a motor carrier number in the first place. That's why there's a license for freight broking is you have to pay the carrier. So, and then we're going on the next one, which is the worldwide trend for just Google searches, freight broker. As you can see, it's just getting higher and higher. And last time I checked, we're not building stuff in America as much.
Whoa.
So there's not, not much stuff to transport.
Everybody wants to be a freight broker.
And also the last thing to clarify as well, if you think like, oh, these are just numbers, this in the grand scheme of things, this is nothing. Well, let's do this month right now. So these are the keyword searches, and actually this is like maybe it's the numbers should be bigger, but this is all the keywords that are related people are searching for. This month alone is 38,000 people search related to freight brokering. This month.
September. 38,000 people searched freight broker. How to become, right? Training, school, freight broker training. Wow.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the competition. I think people severely underestimate that. Just my
I would
opinion.
not have known it was anywhere near that much. I wouldn't have known.
Well, nobody thinks about that. Everybody
Wow.
wants to think that they could, break into an industry and conquer it. I mean, you should be positive, of course, but also you have to be optimistically pessimistic as well. So, and then the second point, which I think it's people never consider, is that that if you start a brokerage, you are the target, and as well as new carriers as well. You know, the whole reason why there's a whole industry of double brokers is that because there's new people getting entered in the industry that have no business of being there, getting this free training instead of to just get a job. So if, like I said, if you sit down, if you don't see the fish at the table, you're the fish. So, I mean, most people don't know, and especially in auto transport. Um, you know,
I like this potential ways brokers and carriers can be taken advantage of, right? Okay, misrepresentation of capacity, fake credentials. You know what I was just thinking is, man, if you get in and then you get, let's say, get targeted by some kind of fraud or scam, I mean, you could be wiped out pretty fast.
I mean, yeah, that's the whole, you know, that's honestly that's why, there's with double brokering. I think there's two things to stop it. Is one is that I think if any transportation company, I think you have to be a U.S. citizen. I strongly think that. And then second too, they should like the training need like this, course setting needs to stop. I think they should just get a job and get experience, like in the transportation industry. Like it's it's very it's very rare for somebody to have a fresh, you know, easy start. It's
I mean,
so
training education it has its place, but it's interesting. And, I'm always for, freedom of speech is important. Obviously, I need freedom of speech too. But there's a point at where you're selling some kind of training that is leaving stuff out.
I don't think they're leaving stuff out. I just think it's it's just part of the industry because you don't have to have any credentials. You can technically be a criminal and start a motor carrier authority. Like, you can get out of being a convict. You can start a motor carrier authority in 6 months if you get your act together. And it's just one of the beauties of transportation and logistics is that you have the opportunity to, if you do a good job, to prosper. But as well, you also keep in mind that there's a bunch of bad actors as well. So I think that's people fail to consider. I just think that a lot of the people that get caught in these scams is that they don't have the training and they get excited because think about it, you're calling like 1,000 people. You made 1,000 calls. You're thirsty. You're very thirsty, man. Like you're in a desert. You got one bite in your bait, and then you pull in the bait, and it's actually an alligator about to eat you. In a sense, like I heard,
What's an
there's plenty of
alligator look
stories
like?
where
Yeah, what's an alligator look like? What can happen?
like, oh, what do you like? Oh, it could be a fraudulent. It could. I heard a story, and basically, from what I heard from a new broker, is that they were hauling a high value cargo, right? And she didn't they didn't know any better, and the cargo just they just stole the cargo. It was a food, but I don't want to be specific. But like I said, like you just
High-end cargo was
what I'm
stolen
yeah, high end cargo was stolen,
by the
yes.
carrier.
And
By who stole it?
it uh could be the carrier, or maybe it was double brokered. That's one of the dangers of double brokering because you're subcontracting, you don't know who is the other party. And then
Right.
once something goes bad, a lot of times they'll cut the communication off. So that's what I'm saying. If I think if you start a brokerage and you have no experience, you're gonna get your butt chopped off. Something's gonna happen liability wise that
Mhm.
you know you're you
That's
know
what this
that people
show's
fail to
about.
consider.
This show is a warning, right? You can
Yep.
still go. You can still go pay several grand for freight broker training, But now you know there are thousands of people looking at it just as you are, and there's a lot of danger you're not aware of. Is that right?
And yeah, and shout out to Super Dispatch. I see him on the chat.
Oh, yeah. I see that. Yeah, shout out Super Dispatch.
Um, but that's pretty.
Point three.
That's
You have
one
a
thing
point.
that people.
You have a point three also,
A point.
too. I don't want to make sure we forget that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, basically, sales is a numbers game, and especially, and this is actually an advice for newcomers as well. You're gonna suck at sales. I sucked at sales, and I probably still do. I did about maybe 5,000 calls, and what I did is basically I called. So whenever you interview somebody, right, the job that you want, you don't do the first round of interviews. You go apply another job that you don't want per se, and just get the reps in. So that's what I did. I basically call outside of my premise of a major city and call around the state just to get the reps in. And if I did got a quote, or if if I move a car, great. But I just got the experience, and then from when I call Houston, I started getting when I call where I live, I started getting calls. Started getting customers from that. So
Cold call.
in any bin, yeah, if I think any business endeavor, you have to do about, and especially in the first year, it doesn't matter, it's trucking, freight brokering, anything in general. I think you have to have 10,000 prospecting activities, and the majority has to be cold call. And
Not everybody
people
can cold
don't.
call, though. Right?
It's hard.
It is
I'm
hard.
I struggle too as well. But I don't think people fail to understand the sheer amount of work you have to put in for that. Because let's say you do about 2,000 calls. Well, that's not enough data for you to justify if the business is successful or not. You just have to put in the volume to even see if this is a viable business. So I think once you get to 7,000 or 6,000 mark, you're gonna start getting more. You're gonna get some business coming in, and the 10,000 marks where you can tell, hey, maybe brokering is not for me, or maybe trucking is not for me. But at that point, you're gonna have solid customers, and those numbers, you're gonna have one good customer at least that cares about you, or
Cool,
that.
I'm sending it.
And
Sorry.
what's up?
She's working. She's
Sorry, I
always
was talking to
working
somebody,
during the
sorry.
show. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sorry.
Just,
I was like, why is she so
Yeah.
quiet? I thought.
She's got she's got a
I
mute
thought
button.
she-
She's actually
I-
extremely multitasking talented.
Yes,
I
I'm
know.
multitasking all the time. Sorry.
So these cold call, I mean, this is cold calling. It's interesting. I see these, fortune cookie quotes and all this great stuff about success and support and all, yeah. But when it comes time to actually picking up the phone, you know how many people don't pick up the phone? I mean, just pick it up. I know it's not popular. I'm going to camera one. I'm going to say it again. I see all this. It's nothing wrong with like positive philosophy. I'm into it as well. But if you don't actually do the work and it's all positive philosophy, what's the point? If you work in sales, pick up the phone and talk. Who are you calling and why? What are you doing?
Right. So
I don't mean to sound
Jay,
frustrated, but it does frustrate
yeah,
me,
yeah.
right? Because and
Well,
it's
Jay,
hard.
also-
It's really hard. Yeah.
also too, like what people fail to consider too is that I don't like if you're starting a brokerage and you have if you don't have a site, or you don't have, like, if you're not proud of what you're selling, like some people don't put in the back end, like I did this site, this is my website, I did that in a weekend.
Which
Do you
is
see it?
crazy, by the way. Yeah, scroll back up. I think your site is great. Meaning, I can tell you put a lot of work into it. I think it looks pretty professional. It actually surprises me that you did that in a weekend. And I would say that there must be thousands of companies in transportation, if not, we'll go with hundreds just to be safe, There must be hundreds of companies in transportation that could really use a website. Because
I think they all should. All
yeah, they all should have one.
they
What's
they,
the
they do. They
what's
all
the
should.
purpose of a website? Tell us that. Why have a website?
Well, first thing, this is what I'm learning so far. Um, but however, how you answer the phone is the window how people see you, your first impression. Your second impression is your website. And another way where they can see what you're all about. It's basically like it sells, you're selling your business or yourself. But yeah, I knock it down on a weekend. Just a lot of reading and tutorials.
See, I'm getting an idea. What I think you're really doing, you're not talking people out of being a freight broker. This is actually what a freight broker class should look like. Is load up the first 10 minutes with horrible news. It's kind of like when you in a college class in calculus in college, not everybody's going to get an A. You know why? Because they want some people to leave. Not everybody's going to be a NASA scientist. Do you know why? Because not everybody can be a NASA scientist. I know that's not a rosy picture. But once you get to NASA and there's rockets in the sky and people can die, they want to make sure you're ready.
Yeah.
So,
pretty much.
For everybody that goes to the hotel airport seminar on how to get rich freight brokering, the best way to begin the seminar is with some really bad news. 38,000 search results. You could get scammed. You could get robbed. You can lose your business in a week. Now that half the people left the room, great, let's move into the training.
Yeah, but that's not. They're not going to sell it. They're not going to sell all these courses. They're not going to sell their $2 ticket. You know. No, those guys make some good money if you put in those numbers. I mean, just look at the search results. Just like just look at that. Like, you know, out of 1,000 people, let's say they search out of how to become one. I guarantee you, maybe 100 of them are going to buy a course ranging between $300 to $1,000 to $2,000. That's pretty lucrative. Like, it's probably more lucrative than the actual.
Well, you said
the actual industry.
That's right. You were saying that you can make more money selling freight broker training classes than actually being a broker. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't have a course to sell.
No, I know you don't. No, I know you don't. Well, that's why you're here talking about this. Because if you did, you would be, I don't know. Maybe your sales would skyrocket. Maybe Tony Robbins walks around telling people they're losers, and then he builds them back up. I don't know.
But the thing like I said, back to the sales part, what people fail is that they're not proud of what they have. If you're not proud of what you have with your company, like with your website and all that, how can you really sell yourself? Like really, like people can tell, like, at an instant if you're not confident in your call or not. So that's
Isn't
basically
that the truth? How do you teach that? Yeah, how do you teach phone confidence?
Wow. Man,
Whoa.
I did it in an unorthodox way. I did it, I did it through the concrete, pounding the wall, keep calling, which is fine. But also what kind of increased my confidence. It's gonna sound ridiculous, but I actually started learning how to Western country dance. And I would just go out to these. And I actually like dancing. I actually do like it. And there's some attractive females.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, I want to, and then you just
people like to dance.
You just like to dance. But like if you go after
and it's
somebody
athletic,
you
right?
think it's higher, but that's higher that you think is higher in your mind perceive, and then they say yes, then you're gonna become naturally a closer. So I don't know how you can train that. That's kind of like a weird.
Okay,
weird
so
way to
maybe all right.
do
So
it.
I'm gonna try and figure this out. Maybe getting out of your comfort zone a little.
Yeah, but that's part of. But you still
Part of
got a
it.
cold call. That's like
Yeah.
in the that's part in the back end, like in the weekends or like you still got to improve your sales. You still got to
Maybe.
learn.
What
You still
about
got to.
like maybe could put Rocky on TV and prep and I tell you okay, I want to jump in and say this.
I
Yeah, what were we gonna say?
just use the phone.
Get your phone.
Just call.
But
Yeah.
sometimes you need to. Okay, so what I think I said in my dispatcher training series is you just want to focus on what is it that you want to do. And as a dispatcher, you want to book a load. As a broker, what do you want to do? What does a broker do? When you pick up the phone, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get business, right?
Yeah.
And you also need to find out who to talk to because not everybody who answers the phone is a decision maker, right?
Right, but I think the cheat code is just asking. Just asking. And shout out to BGA.
I know.
He's right. He's on point. Just cold call, pick up the phone and dial him, and just ask. And yeah, you're right.
That's
But
for a
people just
used
don't
car
ask. People
manager.
go around it. Yep.
Do you need a
But
transport
people don't ask.
service? Nice.
Yep. And yes or no. And
Well,
be done.
I tell you, I think this is another thing people forget is that from day to day, someone could say, I have a transport guy, gal, person, but what about next week? Maybe something happened.
Right.
That's why you get no today, you get no tomorrow, and then next week, whoa, 10 orders. Wow.
Yeah.
See you, John. Thanks for tuning in and saying hello. Sue, I've been hogging the microphone. Do you want to add anything?
No, I'm with you guys. I
You're
mean,
good? Yeah.
I did my whole little spiel in the beginning. So,
Oh, you did?
well, even when we were talking about how hard this is, I mean, I totally get what he's going through. I can't even imagine doing cold calls like that. I'm not that type of person. So, I mean, I talk to everybody every day. Don't get me wrong, you know how I am, but doing a cold call, I don't know if I'm really into that. So, I can imagine.
I'm really glad you said that because not everybody is. That's correct. We're not all cut out for the same. I cannot be a NASA scientist. Okay. In
Right.
case anybody couldn't tell, I shouldn't work at NASA. Okay. So, but we're all good at something. We need to find out what we're good at. And this is also part of the beginning of the freight broker training course is maybe this isn't for you. Right? Maybe
Yeah.
freight, right? Because what do you think goes into what will make a good freight broker potential candidate? Somebody good at picking up the phone.
Yeah.
What else?
Marketing, for sure. Marketing is going to be your number one. Selling yourself, selling the company. You don't think so? I think you don't get anybody in the door.
I think
to
it's
do that.
I think it's cold. I think it's just cold call. If they're good,
But that's
if
marketing,
they're good.
though. Your cold calls are marketing.
No, marketing is like you're
Okay.
sending you're email blasting, and you're converting
No.
leads.
Because when
This
you're
is
talking
good.
to somebody,
Sales.
you're selling yourself.
But you
To
also
me,
got to
that's marketing.
understand trucking. I mean, don't you need to really understand what freight is and why it's moving?
Right.
So there's
you gotta
sales,
talk.
there's marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will argue, and this is this is my strong opinion, that if as long as you can get the freight and sales, you can hire somebody that knows how to do it.
Well, okay, I'm
Like-
with you on that. But when you're first starting out, you got to be able to do it yourself before you can get to that point, unless you've got a whole bunch of money behind you. Right?
Well, right, but like I said, like that's the whole reason why I made this presentation. It's like, hey guys, like I know I'm sorry when I destroy your dreams, but I don't think you're gonna make it. Like that. Sorry to break it to you, but you gotta you're gonna struggle. You're gonna you're
Yeah.
gonna hurt your knee a bit. Like
Yeah.
I don't think people think about that.
No.
I want to say this. I have seen, heard, and met people that do believe if you can sell something or get a job or a business or a contract, you can figure it out afterwards how to fulfill that job,
Yeah.
service, or contract. Getting the deal can often be a bigger part than actually knowing what to do with the deal.
True.
You're 100% correct. At least for me. I it's I have a family of contractors, tradesmen that they have their own businesses, and really just getting the deal matters. And then
I think this
your
is what the
longe-
art of the deal is all about, right? The art of the deal,
Yeah.
getting the
Right.
deal.
True.
Anybody can figure out what to do with the deal. It's getting the deal.
Right, but like I said, what determines how you're gonna stay in business is fulfilling the orders.
Well, that's the thing. See, I don't.
That's-
I believe in fulfillment is more important than getting the deal. But in society, if you can get the deal, you can probably figure out how to fulfill. The problem is if your heart's not in fulfillment, over time you're going to get a deal that you can't fulfill, and there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, you're wrong. You're not wrong. I agree. I feel like I'm an operations guy. I'm not a salesman at all. I just think I put my heart in
What? You just
my
made
heart close-
7,000 to 10,000 calls. Of course you're a salesman. I mean, you may not
Yes.
think of yourself
What do
as
you
a
mean?
salesman, but if you can make that many phone calls,
Yes.
when you talk about calls in the thousands and you're actually serious, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that'll say, "Oh, I made calls all day," and they made 5 calls.
Right.
That's real.
Yeah.
But you actually make that many calls. I mean, I don't know how you do it.
I did about 5,000 to be fair.
That's crazy.
Well, either
Over
way, that's
5,000 over what period of time would you
Yeah.
say?
Like
Several months?
Uh,
I don't know. I mean, can you make 100 calls?
I
a
think
day?
about 7. No,
No.
I don't
That's
think
too
so.
many.
I think no, it's not that it's too many. I just don't think first of all, I think the bigger question is that who you gonna call? Does that make sense? Like who you actually gonna call matters.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if any advice, I would do what I call a wish list of shippers. Like you make your own list, and you need to have like a big list what you want. Be creative. You know what? Be optimistic. I don't care. It's a list. But you need to make your own list of who to call. I think that's I think the main thing is having a list of people to call and having the service, and you got a business. You got your own business basically.
And here's what's happening. So what I'm picturing is, this is why I think of like a laboratory. It's funny because I just said I'm not a NASA scientist, but I'm not. But I think of ATI as a living media laboratory in auto logistics. So I believe in the laboratory concept because you need to lock the door, turn off the television or the PlayStation, right? And focus. What is it that I'm trying to do? And start doing stuff. Don't get back on some social media and, eat another hour. Stay focused. Make meaningful motions to do things. Create files, spreadsheets, concepts to actually do something and not just talk about it. I think that this is a thing that I see a lot of. I see a lot of talk. But it's the do. That's the hard part. It's a lonely...
And the listening.
And right. I don't do a lot of that. Okay. That's not... I do a lot of talk. But my
Listening
talk
is the greatest gift.
is the do. Well, it is. It's an amazing gift. So, having said that, I kind of said my piece. We're getting near the end of the show time-wise. But take the microphone back. What have we missed? Or is there something you want to add? Like, what's another thought?
It's it's basically the whole premise of even doing this is just that whatever you do, take some careful thought. Don't just jump in if somebody gives you an idea to you're gonna make $1 million or a boatload of money, like do some due diligence, do some research.
Right.
Um, just but like I said, people don't, you know, their research is just searching on Google. Like a lot of the lucrative stuff is you're learning on your own. Is nobody's gonna teach you this. Like BJ says, just cold call. I mean, like the secret is just going out there. Like imagine if you make 1 million cold calls in your lifetime, how wealthy you'd be in a sense. Like it doesn't matter what you sell. Like imagine if you do that many calls. I'm not saying don't make that much, but if you like stretch it for about 40 years, you're gonna get wealthy at some point.
Here's a
Like if you
crazy
do a
idea.
million.
You just gave me a crazy idea. What if you
Uh-huh.
pulled up Central Dispatch and you called every broker that posts a load? What could you say? Let's say you're a
That
carrier.
post a load. Sure.
Let's say you're a carrier.
Okay.
Sue, do you want to pull? You want to share the screen, Sue?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's bring up Central Dispatch.
Okay.
Join us. We're gonna finish the show with a. That's why I call it a living laboratory on ATI. Really,
You have
this
to
is.
let me
'cause-
share.
Oh, I can't do that.
Oh, okay. Now I
See
can
if you can
do
take
it. I'm in here
Okay.
now.
So, because
Okay.
like when I started this channel, I mean, I just started going live with ideas I had, and I really like to continue in that vein. It's not all scripted out because life isn't scripted. All right, there's 40,000 loads. Now, if
40.
you're a carrier, what if, let's see, make it one size smaller for me. Yeah.
That?
Yeah, there we go. Now we can see the company. We can see the broker.
Right.
What would happen if you called that first company posting a load? And maybe you're like, okay, well, but Jay, I'm not moving loads in Calgary. All right. What's your running lane? Let's say your running lane is what? Sue, what's a running lane?
Say Georgia to Louisiana.
Great. Let's pull that up. Let's pull up Georgia to Louisiana.
I run it quite a bit. That's why.
And this is where what I'm trying to do right now is take the theory from the last hour and put it into practice of some meaningful do, right? And okay, so we're on Central Dispatch. We're doing Atlanta to New Orleans. All right.
Yep.
Let's say this is your running lane. You've been looking for loads. You're going crazy, right? Or whatever. Maybe you're having a great time. You're making all kinds of money. Life is so good, but you just for extra time. Okay, what happens if we pick up the phone and call that first company and say, what do we say? Let's say we're a carrier. Roberto, what would we say?
Hey, I'm interested of your car from Kia to Villa Rica to Louisiana. Is that still available?
No, it's not available. Go away.
It's not available? Then I'm gonna just move on to the next one. Like, see,
Okay,
but
I'm with you.
but see, it's very,
Oh, it's fun.
it wasn't even that. It's more like it doesn't what crosses my mind is like, okay, I call them, okay, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Because basically, the way I
Is this
book
available?
a carrier.
Is this available? Well, and I know,
It is available.
and I've switched it around because we're doing brokering, dispatch. My point is, if you can call, okay, it's not available. Hey, here's why I'm jumping in. Can I give you my number? This is my lane. I run Georgia to Louisiana all the time. Do you have any other loads from Georgia to Louisiana?
Yep.
Can I give you my company
then
information? Right. What? Yeah.
I would just say, can I be your backup for that lane?
Oh, can I be your backup for that lane? I like that.
I know you have your guys. I know you love your transporters. Can I just be a backup?
Can I
sir,
be one of the
ma'am?
transporters that you love? I
Yeah.
don't know. Can you
No,
say
just
that?
a backup.
Be a
Just say backup.
Okay, yeah,
'Cause-
yeah. Whoa, you
Yeah,
gotta
because
take it slow.
Yeah, you can't just jump in the
Yeah, this
the
isn't
relationship like
country
that.
line dancing. I mean, I gotta. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And now let's go to the next one. Call backlot cars. Right? Is it available?
Yeah.
No, it's not available.
Yeah.
Can I be your, what's the phrase? Can I be your,
Can I? Here's my
Backup.
information. Can I be your backup?
Yeah, I do that.
you do? That's
I'll
good.
tell them if it falls through. If I always tell them if it falls through, please give me a call. I have one spot, two spot, whatever.
Here's my information. Can I be your backup? All right, cool. See, and this is where we talk about cold calling scripts. Okay? Which there's nothing wrong with that phrase. A cold calling script is the words that you can use if your mind goes blank. And actually in my dispatcher training series I also gave cold calling scripts. Hey, calling about this was step 1. When you're brand new and you've never called on a load and you pick up, the phone is ringing and you're nervous, you got sweat everywhere. And they answer, just say this. Hi, I'm calling about a load on Central. Most brokers will then respond, order ID.
Mm-hmm.
And then you give them the order ID, and you are now in a potential transaction. It's that easy.
Okay.
Whereas on the other side, if you're a broker, I think we said, so if the dealer answers the phone, you could say, what was it? Do you have a transport service?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. If they say, oh, we already have a transporter. Okay, no worries. Can I be your backup, sir?
But what was the
Will
first
that
thing you
work?
said? Let's say they answer the phone.
Oh, hey, can I speak to the manager?
Used car
And then
manager?
they'll say,
Yeah.
I would just say manager. They're
Okay,
like,
can I
I
talk to
just
the
have a
manager?
quick question. I just have a quick question. And then
So
they're
let's
like,
role
well,
play.
who
All
is this
right.
lot?
Okay, ring, ring, ring. Hendricks, Automotive.
Sure. Hey, this is Robert with Assure Freight. Can I speak with the manager? I just need I had a quick question.
Yeah, he's not here now. What do you need?
Well, I I help dealerships move cars, and just want to see if I can have a minute of his time.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, no, okay. All right, yeah. He's standing right here. I just lied. Hold on. Okay, manager gets the phone. Hi, yeah, what?
Hey, this is Robert. Nice to meet you. Um, I'll be quick. I know you're a busy guy, busy gal, but um, do you have I ship cars. Do you need help with that?
Hmm. Okay, I see where we're going. I'm breaking the role play. Okay, right. So you got to the decision maker and you stated that you ship cars. And now it could go any
Hmm.
number of directions. But let's say it goes
Yeah.
south, you can say, I understand, can I be your backup? Something like that.
Or they'll say, "Oh, we only get stuff locally. We source our vehicles locally." Okay,
Ooh.
awesome. I'm glad to hear. And then and then you say "Okay, whenever you take the leap of faith and buy a car outside of the city, I want to be your guy. Here's
Ooh,
my
now you're in a
information."
conversation. Well, this is what's interesting, and this is why I've contended all these years in these different programs. The more we understand about their business, like you could say, well, I'm a carrier, I'm really not interested in dealer business. But if you understand what the dealer's dealing with, the dealer says, man, I got an electricity bill, I got floor planning, I've already got tons of recon problems.
Also, too, I don't like I call all these dealerships, and I probably know more about dealerships than I know about freight brokering at this point. Like, I can empathize with the dealer. Like, if a lot of dealerships, a lot of small ones, they don't want to get scammed. So you gotta also like kind of understand like, hey, I even say, hey, I help a customer. He bought a car. Turns out it wasn't what they showed in Mannheim, and he had he had a tough time, but we got the car moved at a good rate because it wasn't working. It was posted as it was showed it was running. So
Ooh, BGA says, they say, we have our own drivers, we send them to the auctions.
how do I respond to that?
Sure.
Um, I said, okay. See, I would just call. I would just call in a month. Hey, just checking in. Cause the thing is, you know,
Ooh, now you
that
know
what that's
something. It's true. Yeah, you call back in a month. You now know something. Yeah. How do you make notes? How do you keep track of this stuff?
me.
Yeah.
Um, I had a I had a CRM. I just think a pen and paper, just pen and paper.
Okay. I'm
Um,
gonna say I don't like pen and
BG,
paper because I can't keep track of all my stacks. So I keep
sure,
folders and
but
files and
but to be
spreadsheets.
Jay, to be fair,
Yeah.
I look at it as like you're starting from scratch, a freight
Okay.
brokerage.
Okay.
Yeah.
BGA's got Excel,
Uh,
but I hear you. Okay, so when you start, let's say it's day 3. Day 1, I was at the hotel airport seminar. Day 2, I wrote the check and realized, oh man, I got to start making money now. Day 3, freight brokerage, first week. I just called a dealer, and they said we have our own drivers, and we send them to the auctions, and I'm ready to start making notes. So what? Okay, so here we go. I wrote the phone number that I called. I write the
yeah.
dealership. I write the name of the person.
Mm-hmm.
I write the date that I called, and I write they said they have their own drivers and they send them to the auctions. Before I get off the phone, can I say something stupid like what auctions?
Yeah. The more questions, the better. Open-ended is the key. Be as open-ended as possible with your questions.
Yeah, but
Um,
what if they think I'm stupid then?
they think you're stupid?
Yeah, what if I say something
That's the
stupid? What if I say something
that's
stupid and then they think I'm
that's
stupid and
fine.
now I'll never get their business?
You're gonna get their business if you work hard. If you keep bugging them, you're gonna get their business. If you call the 15th time or the 20th time, they're just gonna give it to you. They're just tired of you. I seen that. I seen it happen. I seen it happen from other reps. I'm like, oh my God, like how can you like they will it's not the most charismatic, it's the most persistent. If if you think about it, like that's how some marriages are in some sense. If you pay attention to relationships, there's always one party, one gender that's always like consistent, like you know, not being charismatic but just being picky, persistent. It's persistent. That's really the key. No, they will tell you where
That
they
is
get their
awesome.
cars.
They will tell you. No, they will. So
Yeah,
they will.
a lot of
Right?
times
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
sometimes they do. Is if it's like a big dealership, there will be kind of, it depends on the right person. But yeah, I mean it's really persistent. That's all it is. But like I said, I don't think it's this is for like the inexperienced newbie. This is not for uh BGA. I appreciate that he's in the live
Yeah,
chat.
really cool.
He's giving us some dropping some good nuggets over
The
there.
the live chatter of the day. Really appreciate it. Here's what I want to do. We're pretty much at the end of our show, so I have an idea. I would like to get a follow up from you at some time in the future. I don't know when. When I said that, what came to your mind when I said that?
In the future?
Yeah.
Man, I'm barely thinking next week or the next day. I mean, I'm just
Well,
like,
well, you are. Here's what I want to do. Okay, so I want to bring you back. I think December. I'm almost booked out into. Right now. I'm booking the end of November. Because that's what's happening here on ATI is we're focusing on Tuesdays and Thursdays now, and I'm really working to stay booked ahead and so I can get ready for each show. I want to book you. I want to bring you back in December. Can we do that? Imagine
that's
what'll happen
fine.
between now and then, right?
I really don't know.
Yeah. All right. So,
Maybe maybe I listen to my own advice.
well, no. See,
As a joke.
I think you have a lot to share. Well, so this is what's interesting. By the time November rolls around, That'll be really interesting to do a follow-up. And if it doesn't work out, we don't, that's fine. But let's try to do a follow-up with you in December. Okay? Because as Dallas pointed out, listening, coming to play, speaking, great show, valuable takeaways. I know I read a lot of those words out of order, but I do think this was a really interesting show today. I think that there were some hard punches, but there was also some really honest information, and that's what makes a great show. Some people will say podcast, whatever they call it. I don't even know anymore what people call shows, because I still think of it as television. But this was a really interesting show.
Well, like I said, thank you guys. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Jay.
No problem.
Thank you for the whole chat. And like I said, I'm grateful. I appreciate it. And shout out to Super Dispatch. They're good people. I love Super Dispatch. So yeah.
Well, that was awesome. That was really awesome. Okay. In the meantime, so if anybody wants to follow up with you, maybe if they have a question, can they email you or anything, or do you have a?
Yeah, they can email.
All right. What's an email address? Is there like a general email inbox?
R Flores, the one that we're in communication.
R Flores at, is it Assure Freight?
Assure-Freight.
Yeah, .com.
Yep.
RFLORES at assure-freight.com. If you got a question for Roberto, we realize again that, I appreciate you coming on the show today. We've talked a couple times. We weren't exactly sure what we were going to do, but we knew it would be, this is kind of tough stuff. But this is what I think, this is the kind of stuff people really want to know.
Well, this is just for me as well. Like, this is just to, it's a learning experience as well, but also just to, have it on recording,
That's right.
Just for me to evaluate it, yeah.
It's part of the archive now, buddy. Well, it's a living library. I mean, think of, somebody was saying to me, I don't even know how many hours of me talking there is. There's no going back.
Jay, I listened for hours of you, and I thought like you're my friend, even though we never spoke.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, and at the same time, I think you said, once we did start talking, it's not like I didn't flip a switch. I am who I am. And I think in some sense we all are who we are, and it's that we want to get to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Awesome. Well, Roberto, applause button. Thank you so much. Great job today. I'm going to let you go, and then Sue and I are going to wrap out the show. So,
okay.
TBD.
Thanks, Roberto.
Part 2.
Do I just leave?
I'm gonna let you.
Leave,
Yeah, exactly.
Kick you
Do I
out.
just leave? Yeah. I'm gonna kick you out of the Zoom room. I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room, and then just keep me posted, and I'll put you down for some kind of December, and we'll follow up again in November. But keep me posted. Let me know how things are going. Okay.
For sure.
Remember to like and share. This is an incredible conversation.
And subscribe.
And subscribe.
There you
Thanks
go.
so much. There you go. Just got it. All right, Roberto. Here comes the waiting room. I'll see you later, buddy. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. I really think, and you know what I thought was interesting. Go ahead and do me a favor. Pull up the load board stuff again. I think it's interesting to, and this is kind of what this is what I talk about. Mobile trade show, bringing a trade show presentation to you live, and this is actually one of the things that happens at trade shows. So even though you're not at a trade show right now, you're just watching ATI, but when you go to trade shows, one of the things that some speakers will do is they're trying to get you to step outside your normal situation and think about theoretical concepts that have to do with your day-to-day business. In fact, a motivational speaker will do that. They want to get you out of your pattern for a moment, give you some new ideas, and then put you back in the pattern. And after getting some new thoughts, ideas, hopefully, and putting you back in the pattern of staring at the same load board that you're used to, now with some new ideas, what can you do with some new ideas with your same business pattern? And were there any helpful new ideas? This is where you answer. Sue,
I'm supposed to answer? I thought we were asking the
I know, right? It's theoretical.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, obviously, most people don't think about doing cold calls for sure.
The phone number's right there. Isn't that interesting? There are companies right here and phone numbers right here. Now, I think the difference is if you're already paying for a monthly subscription, then you have the information. And if you're not paying, you don't have the information. Which is why I've always said, I wish there was some kind of sandbox where, let's say you're researching the business. Would it be helpful to cold call some brokers? I mean, I guess you might be wasting their time, but what would a sandbox look like in auto trans? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I mean, anybody wanting to start a business definitely would. I mean, I think you have to do a variation of cold calls no matter what business you're doing. It may not be called a cold call, but you're out there, prepping your business to get it started. So I think you have to do a certain amount of marketing, and I'm going to call it marketing because that's what I think it is, to get yourself started. I mean,
call it marketing.
Whether it's a restaurant,
there's
restaurant, bakery, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're out there, you're beating the streets to bring people into your business. So either way, whether it's a cold call or handing out a business card or handing out pastries to get people to come, that's what you're doing. I think cold calling though is hard.
Well, cold calling is hard. But so this is actually why sales and marketing it's a duo. Yeah. Sales is beating the street. Yeah. But without a marketing message, what are you saying? You don't have, without marketing, there is no pamphlet. You're just talking. So marketing helps sales craft the message to make the sale.
Yeah.
In handing out pastries, that's right. So let's say if you're a carrier, instead of handing out pastries, maybe you can take your truck and trailer down to the auction.
Well, you know what I always tell you.
Yeah.
And you show them your equipment. Also, seriously, bring a box of donuts. Who doesn't want donuts? And go around and talk to people.
I know
especially
that's
salesmen,
hard
they all love donuts. Yeah.
And that is a wild proposition to walk into a dealership with donuts. BJ, you're right. Not sure if calling brokers is helpful. Better to call dealers. Well, gosh.
Yeah. I think so too.
You could throw a rock and hit a dealership. So then,
well, and that's true. But keep in mind, some of these brokers want that. They want you to call in and say, I want you to put me on your list of brokers. They'll give you your chance, your first chance, and you do a great job for them. Then they put you on their list. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to talk. Now, certain brokers, it's not going to work that way. Montway, you've got to get set up. Backlots, you have to get set up. Cars Drive, you got to get set up. You can't just call them.
They should tell you that, right? Oh, well, you need to get set up with us.
Yes, they should.
Good. Okay, yeah.
Whether they do or not, who knows? But that's what most of them would say.
And which again is where, if you are calling, again, you can do a piece of paper, but I would start a folder on a computer with folders within the folder or files or a spreadsheet, but make a concerted effort to organize information so you know who you're set up with, who you're calling. To me, everything is spreadsheets in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how I ran my dispatch. That's how,
Really?
I had a spreadsheet. Yeah, I had a spreadsheet, and I shared in my dispatcher training course. I had a spreadsheet of the loads I booked and then all the load information, and then the routes. And I knew that if a row was empty, that was a car I needed to book.
Mm.
But that's
See, I
we're all
just write
different.
everything on a notebook every day.
Do you?
And
Okay,
keep
yeah.
track
See,
of it that way.
I started that way and
Yeah.
realized I couldn't tell anymore which cars I called, which ones I booked. It was just too.
Oh,
But I need computer organization. But we all work.
everybody's
differently.
different. Yeah,
Everybody's different.
absolutely.
But however you organize your information, you have to organize information.
True. Very
Unless
true.
you're like,
And-
the mentalist.
And I'll be honest, since Super Dispatch came into play, that's where we keep our organization.
There you
for
go.
the loads into play.
And this is why software and technology have been developed. Not to irritate you, but help you maintain organization,
organized.
efficiency, and
Yeah.
business. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Well, shoot. Once we agree, there's no more show.
We're done.
We're done. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wrap it out. I thought that was a really interesting show. This is Don't Start a Brokerage. Please do like, share, tell your friends. Let us know what you thought. Leave comments below. You can send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Do get the podcast, and it is ATI Auto Business. Look for it on your favorite social media. It is the Car Should Be Business channel. My name is Jay. Sue is my co-host. And next Thursday, so because I think we're back in the swing of things.
Yep.
We've got Auto Hauler Exchange next Thursday.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
They're back, and
We're talking, is it Ross? Is that who his name is?
we're going to talk to Royce. That's
Royce.
right, Royce.
Okay, I was close. All right.
Royce is the CEO, and he's going to be back, and he's going to be answering questions, talking about Auto Hauler Exchange. One of the cool things about Auto Hauler Exchange is not only did they seek out participation in ATI, but they're very active in the marketplace. They go to different trade shows. They don't go to all the obvious auto transport trade shows. They go to shows where there's dealers. They go to smaller gatherings where it's more one-on-one networking, and they have booths. They've been building their software. They've been building their business. Auto Hauler Exchange has been working really hard to make an impact in auto transport as a technology that connects carriers directly to shippers. Which isn't for everybody. That's fine. They're not trying to change the world, but they're offering something new. And they're being very intentional about their offering. So I'm excited to have them back on Thursday. And anybody who has a question is welcome to ask the question, and we'll see what happens. But that's what we're doing next Thursday. So that's pretty cool. So, all right, that's it. We are wrapping up the show. What do we say, office?
What do we say, office? Goodbye, Sue.
Goodbye, Sue. Thanks so much,
See ya.
everybody.
Thank you,
Appreciate
everybody.
you. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.